What was his name, Kyle? Inconsequential, right? Nobody really cares. What matters is what was going on behind his eyes, the window to the soul. DarbyCast, WildCard Friday. Kyle and I, we were wrapping up a gym workout and enjoying a couple of Nature Valley bars. Just the original flavor. Oats and honey, not bad. But we're also having protein shakes because we're preparing for success on a daily basis. You better believe it. But we turn our eyes to the television, the men's locker room, and ESPN is on the TV. And there's an anchor who is reluctantly but enthusiastically talking about how much he was fired up on that, what's the guy's name? Leah Thomas? The swimmer who used to have a fat cock, but may or may not now. Happy Pride Month, by the way, everyone. Yeah, it's June. Mothers get a day, fathers get a day, presidents get a day, veterans get a day. But people who have turned sexual fetishes into their entire lifestyle, give them a month, right? All the corporations are dialed in, hitting their June slogans. It's always funny, right? See Olive Garden do a Twitter post. Olive Garden, when you're here, you're gay. A little different from what I'm used to out of Olive Garden. Microwave pasta and cheap box wine. Everything's getting a whole lot gayer. And the world isn't becoming like a better place. Makes no sense to me, right? Makes no sense to anyone. How could railroading an entire population towards gayness not be super sweet? What is that about? Right, Kyle? For anybody who's upset at the establishment for the way they're handling all things, domestic policy, foreign policy, fiscal policy, suck a dick and just be happy, right? Eat a box of cookies and suck a ween. Your life is going to be awesome after that. Don't you get it? Happy Pride Month from Skittles. Taste the rainbow. Our slogan was already kind of gay sounding, so we didn't have to change it. Boom, gotcha. Skittles, count it. I think this gets us into a thoughtful conversation about symbols, though. Rainbows out in nature are pretty cool, but the rainbow as a symbol is now, and has been for a while, is synonymous with gayness. Yeah, the natural phenomenon of light refracting off of some precipitation. That means anal. Okay, wake up, Kyle. Wake the hell up. There's no way we can do this episode, right, Kyle? Or can we? Check it. Symbols. My goodness. People kind of miss symbols, right? But for those of us who are in the know, these symbols are haunting. Highly demonic. Highly inappropriate. Are most symbols that are blasted out to the masses. Isn't pride one of the 7 deadly sins, Kyle? But now it's a party for a month. Get a bunch of adult men wagging their penises in children's faces. And then idiot liberal white chicks being suck it, Kenneth. Fucking suck it. It's Pride Month. I don't know if that's the most important thing going on right now, is bringing kids to watch gay men molest each other in public. I don't know. I think that maybe we'll never know if that's okay. Or maybe I'm just not with the times. Happy Pride Month from Microsoft, Xbox, lesbians 69ing. Have a good month. I should probably be hired as a consultant. Many of you are thinking to yourselves right now, Like, wow, these are really good slogans for these companies. Do more, please. And I'm obviously going to do more. Happy Pride Month from ESPN. ESPN, we care about sports and wieners and butts. Da-na-na, da-na-na. Right, Kyle? Any company that's doing like the Pride Month thing, highly suspect. And I'm like, oh, you're being run by traitors as well. Yeah, in the American government, there are many a traitor. And as we all know, if you have the choice of icing an enemy or a traitor, you take out the traitor every time. Just a little FYI. Kyle, am I allowed to say stuff like this? I just can't be like really specific about who the traitors are, right? And then it's like a little bit safer. But everybody already knows, right? Most people know who the traitors are because they're shameless about it. Anybody who like openly hates the American people, generally not really a friend of the nation. I feel like it's a pretty easy gap to bridge. Anybody who's openly calling American citizens who are slightly disgruntled with the way things are going, anyone calling those people terrorists are in fact traitors to the nation. And they're going for your guns, obviously. That's still a thing. Why are they trying to grab people's guns? Why now? Is it because they have done and will continue to do and are planning on doing more things that would warrant them getting shot? I don't know. You tell me. Just a question. I'm not saying that anybody should do that. But I'm looking at these shootings, as I'm sure you have. You've kind of scratched your noggin a couple times and been like, I'm just trying to enjoy thinking about dudes 69ing during Pride Month. Why is everybody shooting people? That isn't okay. You just enjoy a little Pinot Gris and orgy pornography, same sex, obviously. Happy June. Kyle, people have been killed for saying like far less than what I've thrown down in the first couple minutes of this episode. However, guns. A government that doesn't trust its citizenry is not itself to be trusted, and we know this. Just floating around pre-genocidal language for years. But yeah, let's talk about the targets of the mass shootings. It's like really random, and people of very little institutional importance. That doesn't mean these people who have lost their lives aren't important, but a lot of these chaotic events seem like people just mentally snapping and not being super ideologically based. However, ideologically based whodunits could be coming up as more and more people are shaken out of their slumber. And we've all had a laugh or two or a forehead slapping moment of being like, good Lord, how do people not see what the hell's going on in our country? And it's kind of being stuck between a rock and a hard place. Let's just call it what it is. Because the ideological left in government and in the corporate world, they very much want to incite violence. They want the American political right to react, thus validating their authoritarian nonsense. So you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, in terms of speaking up, clapping back, whatever that looks like. And again, I am not pro-violence. I want to keep this show on the air. Violence doesn't solve anything, is what cowards say. Boom, gotcha. But like willy-nilly violence with random targets? Really idiotic. Really senseless. Cowardly as well. I'm just going to say that. And truth be told, I'm surprised violence hasn't been way more out of control. With the way things have been going and the way the string pullers of the world have been on a ceaseless humiliation campaign of American and European populations, specifically. It's remarkable that more people haven't, lost it. It's impressive. And I respect it in a lot of ways. There's different ways to handle the way things are going. There sure are. There's stoicism and saying, listen, this fire's going to burn itself out. And in a lot of ways, it very well could. Because the left continues to hemorrhage in an ideological purity spiral where nobody's quite good enough. Nobody's quite woke enough. And so even the useful idiots who have been really on board with the left-leaning campaigns, they're getting cast aside and they're like, no, I am your ally. And it's Stanlish Haven. Stanlish Haven. Yeah, that's the name. That's what white liberals are naming their kids now, Stanlish Haven. Pretty soon, liberals are just going to start naming their kids real pride-themed names. Come here, swallow. Double anal. Would you like a sandwich? But yes, back to the useful idiots. They don't belong. They don't fit in. And they're confused by that. Naturally, because they're idiots. We've hoped that this would fizzle out, like a child throwing a tantrum. Yeah, just let him run around, lock the doors. He'll get tuckered out. But no, that child has bought meth at a pride parade. Check that, he didn't buy it. He was gifted that. Sharing is caring. But it doesn't seem to be just working itself out all the way. And so I get it. There's some people who are I don't have a whole lot to live for. Fuck this. But again, I'm very confused by the targets of some of these mass shootings. Schools, movie theaters, hospitals, malls, Walmart. If there were really politically, ideologically motivated whodunits in our country, they would happen probably news outlets, tech companies, government officials would have a lot to be concerned about. I'm not calling for this. I'm just saying that these would be kind of the people to go after if hypothetically that was something anybody was interested in. But I think a powerful solution to the way things have been going is to take Pride Month and make the government and these corporate marketing departments put their money where their mouth is, or put their mouth where their money is. If you're so pro-gay, companies, why haven't you been having sexual seminars on company property where your CEO takes it up the butt? Because if that's not happening, it's not good enough. Not for me, at least. Not for anybody. The CEOs of the world need to not just talk about it, they need to be about it. I think that makes the most sense. Don't tell me you're pro-gay, Nike. Just do it. Right? That one was a little too easy, wasn't it, Kyle? Is any of this sustainable? Many of you have asked yourselves. And the answer to that is obviously no. Any of our social, economic, political, cultural, sexual dynamics going on in the country, if we continue with more of the same, or doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down, quintupling down, 69ing down, this Pride Month at Petco, 69 with a dog. Where's that been, huh, Petco, you fucking bigots? I really hate that my mind has the capacity to make these jokes. Let me just put that out there. I mean, granted, they're hilarious, but at what cost? Is that going to fix inflation and gas prices? We just had more dudes blowing each other. More chicks riding dragon fake dicks. Dildos, Kyle. That's what they're called. I'm going to venture a guess and say, who knows, right? None of it's sustainable. Of course, people are losing their minds. If you're an American or you're living in a country in Europe, you have been on the receiving end of a ubiquitous humiliation campaign for a really long time. And if you say anything about it, then you get depersoned, you get canceled, then you can no longer work at the Razor Scooter Company. Tragedy, right? Razor Scooter, do a tail whip straight into a lesbian's bosom if you're a female. Very catchy slogan, is it not, Kyle? Boy, this one is just, what a podcast. My goodness. See, the problem with canceling the DarbyCast, Kyle, is if you canceled it, it would get a lot more popular. And then people would hear all these jokes and be like, it's pretty funny, actually. And then everybody's screwed, right? Because the DarbyCast has quasi-magical properties. Obviously authorized by JC. He authorized me. And thus I have authorized the podcast to wake people up from their media-induced slumber and say, wait a second. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. All of a sudden, you start asking yourself questions and be like, is that a good call? You listen to the DarbyCast long enough, and all of a sudden, you start asking the question a little too often. You say, is that really the right thing to do? And we can't have that. If you're a card-carrying member of the American Communist Party, which people don't really state openly, but boy, are there a lot of card-carrying commies out there. You can't have people asking questions. No. You can't have people voicing their opposition to your nonsense. Because you're so close to genociding people. You've come so far as a commie. And you don't want anyone to muck it up and prevent genocide. Those evil right-wingers trying to prevent genocide. Why can't they just let us do it? Inquired Niles Buttplug Smith, Jr., middle name Buttplug. Happy Pride Month. Happy June. But we all know that none of this is sustainable. People are just wondering, hey, what's next? What is next? What are you going to pull off next? You treasonous demon folk who have acquired such monumental instruments for exacting psychological warfare on a population that is generally quite tolerant and empathetic. Like, what's next, you stupid sons of bitches? What's next, Petco corporate, you fucking perverts? Happy Pride Month from IHOP. We've partnered with Petco to replace our syrup all month with hamster ejaculate and ranch. IHOP, are you drunk enough to eat here? That's their slogan, right, Kyle? Where do people draw the line? Listen, my various lines have been crossed, but my role is not combat enthusiast. I'm not a frontline guy. I could be, but I choose not to be. My skills are better employed as whatever the hell I do here. Whatever you want to call that. But that doesn't mean that your skills are like mine. And I treasure whatever your skills are. I'm going to say that. I had a kid come up to me the other day in the gym. He works there. And he said, I folded 100 towels in 17 minutes. He said, do you think you could do more than that? I said, I don't know. I've never really gone for a towel folding high score. I should have taken him aside and been like, dude, it's Pride Month. Go jack off 100 dudes in 17 minutes. Get with the fucking times, okay? You are so out of bounds, man. Folding towels? Really inappropriate. What are you allowed to be proud of as an American? Not your history. Not any of your personal accomplishments. Not any of your societal accomplishments. Certainly none of your parents or grandparents or great-grandparents or great-great-grandparents' accomplishments. No, you can't be proud of that. The only things you can be proud of are really conspicuous consumption and rim jobs. And it's like, I don't know if that's what life's about. I don't know if that's really meaningful to me long term. And maybe I'm just the idiot who doesn't get it, right? Let me put my hand up and say it. Maybe I'm just a fossil who's just way out of bounds. Are you proud of your family? You evil piece of garbage? Are you proud of your neighborhood throwing a pretty successful cul-de-sac barbecue where everyone had a really good time? How dare you? How dare you? Are you proud of your kids learning how to play an instrument? Doing well in a sporting event? Are you proud of reading books? Are you proud of creating anything meaningful? Solving problems? Because let me direct your attention towards sodomy for a second and tell you that you are missing the mark. Are you proud of somebody that you know for beating drug and alcohol addiction in a world that is captivated by pharmaceutical companies that don't give a shit about the consequences of pushing opiates and psychotropic meds on the population ad infinitum, whether they have problems or not? Are you proud of somebody for taking ownership of their circumstances and making things better? How dare you, right? To quote the great Greta Thunberg, how dare you? Are you proud that you can see through the nonsense and that although it's not necessarily a Sting song, Fields of Gold, the fields of barley. Kyle, we're going to have to listen to that song afterwards because I definitely don't know the words at all. But that's a good song. Sting's a good guy, I think. I haven't done a sports episode in a while, Kyle. But the NBA Finals are on the table. Who cares, obviously, but what are those announcers up to? Do they have to be bought in on the program? What a hostage situation this is for anybody who is working at a media company right now. Steph Curry with the 3. Hell yeah, that's gay. Do they have to say that? I don't know. I haven't watched an NBA game in 2 years. One of the gayest crossovers I've ever seen. Hell yes. Is that what happens in the NBA now in June? Congratulations to the NBA Finals winners. The only thing more impressive than this is sticking a penis where somebody poops from. Yeah! Fuck yeah! I think we should wrap it up on the DarbyCast for this episode. Enjoy the rest of your month. Make sure you buy a lot of useless shit and focus on gay stuff. As gay as possible. Do it right. Be an American. This is what we are about. This is what we fought wars for to secure. Your grandfather may have died in a previous war, so adult men could play dress up and then try to seduce children. Why don't you just understand that that's what those patriots did to secure the rights of these current patriots? Wake up.